Hello, and a massive high-energy welcome to the Reiji English Podcast. We are so incredibly hyped to have you here with us today.
We really are.
Whether you are, stuck in traffic on your commute, maybe sweating it out on a treadmill at the gym.
Or maybe just taking a quiet walk.
Exactly, just clearing your head after a long day. We are truly honored to be a part of your routine.
It's a real privilege. And we know that for a ton of you listening right now, this isn't just about learning English in, the old school sense.
Right.
It's not about ticking boxes on a grammar sheet or, memorizing a list of irregular verbs anymore. You've done that. You've been there.
Exactly. We are leaving the red pens, the grading rubrics, and all that stress from the classroom at the door today.
Good.
This is a safe space. If you're listening to this, you probably already know the basics. You know the vocabulary, you understand the grammar rules, mostly.
Yeah. Mostly, yeah. We all do.
But you want something more. You want to move beyond just surviving in the language.
That's the perfect word for it. Today is all about bridging that frustrating, often invisible gap between knowing English, intellectually understanding the mechanics and the rules, and actually feeling English.
Oh, that's a great distinction.
It's about that massive transition from being a student who studies the language to, a communicator who uses it to connect with other human beings.
I love that, the shift from student to user, because that is the central theme of our deep dive today. We are tackling, really, the science of confidence, thinking, and connection.
And it is a massive topic. Because the problem we see so often, it isn't a lack of vocabulary, it's a mental block. It's that feeling of being stuck inside your own head, frantically translating every word, just terrified of making a mistake.
Or just staying silent.
Or just staying silent because you've convinced yourself you aren't gifted at languages.
The dreaded "I'm just not talented" excuse. We have all been there. It's that little voice in your head that says, everyone else gets it, why don't I? But today, our mission is to completely dismantle that voice. We have pulled together a stack of incredible insights. And we're talking strategies that range from practical daily habits you can do in your kitchen,
all the way to high-level communication hacks used by business leaders and diplomats.
It's a huge range. We're going to look at the neuroscience of how to stop translating and actually start thinking in English.
And how to master the art of conversation, even that terrifying small talk.
Yes. And how to build a type of confidence that doesn't just crumble the moment you make one little grammar slip.
Which is key.
We've got some Harvard-level frameworks to unpack and even some mindset strategies that literally built billionaires. It is going to be packed. So are you ready to stop studying and start communicating?
I certainly am. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's unpack this first big mental roadblock, this myth of natural talent.
Oh, this one is huge.
You hear this constantly. People say, I'm just not good at languages, or the classic, I'm too shy, I'm an introvert, I'll never be fluent like those loud, chatty people who dominate the room.
This is one of the most pervasive myths out there, and honestly, it's a little heartbreaking because it stops people before they even really start.
It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Totally.
Right.
And this idea that you need to be an extrovert to be a great English speaker it's actually scientifically backward in a lot of ways.
Backward. That is surprising. I always assume the life of the party, the person who talks to everyone at the bar, has the massive advantage. They just seem so effortless.
Well, they have an advantage for sure, which is volume. They just get more practice because they talk more. Simple as that.
Okay.
But let's analyze the introvert advantage because the research here is actually fascinating. Extroverts. They often think by speaking. They're figuring out what they want to say while the words are coming out of their mouths.
Which can lead to a lot of rambling, now that I think about it. We all know that person who talks for 5 minutes to make a point that could have taken 10 seconds.
Precisely. It's a talk-to-think process. It's great for brainstorming, for generating ideas, but it's not always great for precision or, clarity.
Right.
Introverts, on the other hand, they tend to process internally first. They prefer to think before they speak.
Okay.
Now, in a language learning context, this can feel like a disadvantage, right? Because it slows you down. It creates that pause that feels like an eternity.
That awful, awkward pause.
Yeah. But if you leverage it correctly, it can actually lead to much higher quality communication.
So you're saying the hesitation isn't a bug, it's a feature.
If you manage it right, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Introverts are often better at preparation. They're more likely to think through a topic beforehand. They're often better listeners, which means they pick up on nuance and vocabulary that extroverts might just miss because they're too busy talking.
That makes a lot of sense.
And in a second language, preparation is a superpower. You don't need to be spontaneous to be fluent. You just need to be prepared.
That is a huge relief to hear. You don't have to change your personality to change your English.
No, not at all.
You just have to lean into your strengths. If you're a thinker, be a thinker. But let's pivot to the other big excuse. Money and location.
Right.
I don't have money for a private tutor, or I don't live in London or New York, so I can't possibly learn.
This brings us to a really core concept. Resourcefulness versus resources. It's a fundamental shift in mindset.
Okay.
And we have this incredible narrative in our research about a learner who eventually became a global business icon. I'm sure you know who I'm referring to.
Jack Ma.
Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba.
Right, his story is legendary, but I think people forget the struggle at the very beginning.
They totally do. People see the billionaire, they forget the young boy in Hangzhou, China, decades ago. He started with absolutely nothing.
Zero resources.
Zero. No internet, no money for fancy teachers, no apps on a smartphone. He couldn't just download a language partner.
So this is the story where he became a tour guide.
Right. Exactly. But I mean, look at the dedication involved there. He realized that the only way to learn was to go where the English speakers were.
Right.
So he would ride his bike for 40 minutes every single morning. Rain, snow, humidity didn't matter, just to go to the Hangzhou hotel where the foreign tourists stayed.
That's dedication.
And he offered to be a free guide just so he could practice his English.
That is wild. Riding a bike for 40 minutes just for the chance to speak to someone. And doing it for free?
And he did that for 9 years.
Yeah.
9 years. Think about that consistency.
Wow.
And it just highlights that he didn't have the resources, he didn't have the textbooks or the courses or the immersion program, but he had resourcefulness. He looked at his environment and said, where is the English? I will go there.
He had grit and curiosity. He didn't wait for English to come to him.
And the key takeaway here for everyone listening is that you don't need to be rich. You don't need to live in an English-speaking country. You just need to use what you have. If you have a mirror, you have a speaking partner.
Okay, let's talk about the mirror. Because talking to yourself in a mirror sounds it sounds like something a crazy person does in a movie right before they lose their mind.
I know it sounds weird.
But you're saying it's a legitimate strategy.
It is a highly effective, scientifically sound strategy. Think about the cognitive load of a real conversation.
Okay.
When you're speaking to another person, your brain is splitting its attention. You're thinking, how do I say this? But you're also thinking, what do they think of me? Am I boring them? Is my accent weird? Did I just spit on them?
Right. You're worried about your grammar, if you have spinach in your teeth, if you're making enough eye contact.
Yeah.
It's just overwhelming.
Totally overwhelming. That social anxiety eats up a huge amount of your cognitive bandwidth. It's like having way too many tabs open on your computer. Everything just slows down.
Yeah.
Your brain is multitasking, and multitasking makes you worse at everything. But when you talk to a mirror, or even just whisper in the dark, as one of our sources poetically put it, you strip away all that social anxiety.
You isolate the variable. You remove the people problem from the equation.
Yes. You are just training the muscle memory of your tongue and your lips. You're building a feedback loop where you can hear yourself without that fear of public embarrassment.
So it's not about the content, it's about the physical act of speaking.
It's about bridging the gap between your brain and your mouth muscles. You have to get your mouth used to the shape of English sounds.
It's like singing in the shower before you get on stage. You need that safe rehearsal space.
Precisely. And that rehearsal is what builds the confidence to eventually step out and do it for real. It's low-stakes practice for a high-stakes performance.
That makes a lot of sense.
If you can't look yourself in the eye and speak English, how are you going to look a stranger in the eye and do it?
That is such a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've tackled the mindset of talent and resources. Now I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the brain. The biggest complaint I hear from learners, and I felt this myself when I was learning Spanish, is I can't stop translating.
The translation trap. It is the #1 enemy of fluency.
Yes, the lag. Someone says something in English, hear it. You translate it to your native language. You think of your answer in your native language. You translate that back to English. And by the time you open your mouth, the conversation has moved on 3 topics and everyone is just looking at you weird.
And you are exhausted. That process is incredibly cognitively expensive. It burns so much glucose in the brain.
I believe it.
That's why you feel mentally drained after speaking English for just 30 minutes. You're doing double the work for half the result. You are literally running a translation software in your head constantly.
So how do we stop? I mean, how do we actually rewire the brain to cut out the middleman? Because it feels so automatic. It feels like I can't control it.
It feels automatic because it's a habit, a deeply ingrained one. And you have to break it with a new habit.
Okay.
And one of the most practical techniques is something called environmental narrating or narrating your life. It sounds simple, but it's really powerful if you do it consistently.
How does it work? Give us the breakdown.
You literally narrate what you are doing as you are doing it in English. But, and this is the important part, you have to do it for simple, mundane tasks.
Like what?
Let's say you're making coffee in the morning.
Okay. So I'm standing there, still half asleep, waiting for the kettle.
Right. Instead of just letting your mind wander in your native language, you force yourself to broadcast the event in English. You say, either out loud or just in your head, I am taking the mug. The mug is white. I am pouring the water is hot. I am smelling the coffee.
That feels almost too simple. Like, I am opening the door. Why does that help with complex fluency? It feels like baby talk.
Because you are associating the direct physical action with the English words, and you're bypassing your native language. You aren't thinking of the word for mug in your language and then translating it. You are holding the mug and saying mug. You're mapping the physical reality directly to English. This is exactly how babies learn.
That's true. They don't translate.
They don't translate. They experience and they label.
I see. So you're strengthening the neural pathway between the object and the English word. You can do this anywhere. Driving is a great one.
Driving is excellent. I'm turning left. The light is red. That car is going way too fast. That dog is cute. It just keeps your brain in English mode.
And there's a nuance here that's really important that we came across in the research. The idea of quiet moments.
Yes.
You should practice thinking in English during times when you are calm and relaxed.
This is so important. And why is the calm part so important? I mean, think about it. Usually, when do we try to force ourselves to think in English?
When we're stressed out of our mind.
Exactly. When we're in a high-pressure meeting or ordering food with a long line of people behind us. So our brain starts to associate English with cortisol, with stress and panic.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
We're conditioning ourselves to panic in English, like Pavlov's dog, but with anxiety. Speak English.
Yeah.
Okay, time to sweat.
Right. So if you practice thinking in English while you're just sitting on your porch with a cup of coffee or taking a warm bath or walking in the park, you start to rewire that association.
Okay.
You teach your brain that English can be a place of safety and relaxation. You're lowering the affective filter, to use the technical linguistics term.
That is a game changer. Reclaiming English is a chill vibe. Now, another strategy for stopping translation. Using images.
Yes.
Ditching the bilingual dictionary. I know this is hard for people who, they love their translation apps.
It's a crutch. It really is. If you learn a new word, don't write the definition in your native language. Draw a picture of it. Or even easier, search for the word on Google Images.
So if I learn the word umbrella, I shouldn't write the word for umbrella in Spanish or French or German next to it. I should just visualize an umbrella.
Yes. You want to bond the English word to the concept or the image, not to the word in your mother tongue. This activates a different part of your brain, the visual processing center, and it speeds up recall significantly.
How much faster?
Your brain processes images something like 60,000 times faster than text. Use that speed to your advantage.
Wow, okay. But what happens when you get stuck? You're in a conversation, you're trying to think in English, but you hit a wall, you just don't know the word. The temptation to grab your phone and use a translation app is huge.
And that's where the context clue rule comes in, or what linguists call circumlocution.
What?
Circumlocution. It's a fancy word for talking around it.
Oh, okay.
If you don't know the word for corkscrew, don't pull out your phone, describe it.
So like the metal thingy you use to open wine bottles?
Perfect. That is actually a sign of advanced fluency. A beginner stops and gives up. A fluent speaker navigates around the obstacle using the words they do know.
Right.
If you can describe a word you don't know using context, you are winning.
It's almost like a game of Taboo. You know that board game?
Yeah.
Where you have to get someone to guess the word hospital without saying doctor or sick. You're training your brain to be flexible rather than rigid.
And that flexibility is what creates flow. It keeps the conversation moving, which keeps your confidence up. If you stop to check a dictionary, the energy just dies.
Speaking of flow, let's talk about speed, because I think we have this idea, maybe from movies or TV shows like Gilmore Girls or The Social Network, that to be fluent, you have to speak at 100 miles per hour.
The fast fluent myth. It is one of the most dangerous, self-destructive beliefs for a learner.
Why dangerous?
Because when you try to speak faster than your brain can process, you lose control. Your grammar falls apart, your pronunciation gets sloppy, you start mumbling, and you just sound nervous.
Yeah.
Fast speech often sounds chaotic, not fluent. It puts the listener on edge.
It's like running down a steep hill. You're moving fast, sure, but you're about to faceplant into the dirt.
Exactly. True fluency is about connection and clarity. It's about flow, not speed. And the secret weapon here is actually the opposite of speed. It's the power of the pause.
The pause. I feel like we're taught that silence is bad.
Yeah.
That if I stop talking, people will think I'm stupid or I forgot the language.
Yeah.
That dead air fear.
That is the anxiety talking. In reality, confident speakers think of politicians, CEOs, great orators. They pause constantly.
Obama is the king of the pause. He'll wait like 5 seconds and nobody dares interrupt him.
He is a master. And why does he do it? There are 3 main reasons. First, it lets you breathe.
Simple enough.
When you get nervous, you stop breathing or you take shallow breaths. That cuts off oxygen to the brain, which makes your brain panic even more. Pausing lets you literally reset your nervous system.
That's practical. Oxygen is good for thinking. Who knew?
Right. Second, it gives your brain a split second to find the right vocabulary or the right grammar structure. It's a buffer. It's like waiting for a video to load so it plays smoothly.
Yeah, okay.
And third, and this is the social status part, it makes you sound thoughtful.
It really does. If you rush, you sound like you're trying to get it over with. You sound like you don't think your words are worth waiting for.
Exactly.
If you pause, you sound like you're carefully selecting your words because they're important.
Exactly. It signals authority. I am comfortable enough to make you wait for my next word. It draws people in. It makes them lean forward.
So practically speaking, we shouldn't try to sprint to the end of a sentence. We should, chunk it?
Thought chunks. This is a technical term, but it's really easy to apply. You group words together. I went to the store. Pause. Because I needed milk.
Oh.
Pause, but they were closed.
I see.
Pausing between those chunks is natural and it's listener-friendly. It allows the listener to digest what you just said.
I love that. It's not stalling, it's chunking. It's formatting your speech for the listener.
Okay, so we're thinking in English, we're pausing like a boss. Now we need to actually talk to humans.
The scary part.
And this is where it gets scary for a lot of people. The mechanics of social interaction.
Yes. Because you can practice in a mirror all day, but people are unpredictable. They interrupt, they use slang you've never heard, they mumble. It's the Wild West out there. It really is. So we have this incredible framework from our sources called the TALK framework, T-A-L-K. And I want to break this down deeply because it is basically a cheat code for social skills.
It is.
If you're socially awkward in your native language, this will help you there too.
It really is universal, and it starts with T for topics.
Topics. This blew my mind. The idea that you can prepare topics beforehand.
It seems so obvious, but almost nobody does it. I mean, think about it. If you're going on a date or to a job interview, you spend 20 minutes picking out your outfit, you worry about your hair, you check the mirror 10 times.
Guilty.
But do you spend even 2 minutes planning what you're actually going to say?
Almost never. I just walk in and hope for the best. I rely on my charm, and then I end up talking about the weather for 20 minutes.
And that's why it gets awkward. The research suggests that even 30 seconds of topic prep can change the entire trajectory of a conversation.
30 seconds.
Just brainstorming 3 things you can talk about reduces your anxiety significantly because you have a safety net.
So before I walk into a party or a meeting, I should literally list 3 things in my head.
Yes. And we can even use the topic pyramid to structure this so you're not just being random.
Okay, walk us through the pyramid.
So at the base, the widest part, you have small talk. Weather, food, the traffic, the venue. People say they hate small talk. Oh, it's so superficial.
I'll say that.
But it's necessary. It's the warm-up. It signals I am friendly and I am safe.
Right, you can't just walk up to a stranger and ask, what is your deepest childhood trauma? You have to start with, man, it's raining hard out there.
Exactly. It's the social handshake. Then, the middle of the pyramid is tailored talk. This is where you connect on specific interests. Oh, you like hiking? Me too. Where do you go? This is where you find that common ground.
Okay.
And then the top of the pyramid, the point, is deep talk. Values, feelings, dreams, opinions. That's where the magic happens. That's where real connection is built.
But you have to earn the right to get to the top. You can't just jump there.
Correct. And having a few topics ready for each level just lowers your anxiety. You never have to worry about running out of things to say because you have a menu in your back pocket.
I love that.
If the conversation dies, I'll ask about their weekend plans. If that dies, I'll mention the new movie I saw.
A menu in your back pocket. It just takes the pressure off. Okay, so that's T. Now A A is for asking.
Asking is the engine of conversation. If you're not asking questions, you're not having a conversation, you're just giving a speech.
Or you're being interrogated.
Or you're being interrogated, right?
We have this great example from the research called the smoothie example. Can you share that? It really illustrates the difference between a dead-end answer and a real conversation starter.
Yeah, it's a classic scenario. You ask someone, what did you have for breakfast? And they say, a smoothie.
Boring answer. Boring answer. One word. Conversation over. Silence follows. You stare at your shoes.
Usually, yes. But a skilled communicator uses follow-up questions to dig deeper. Oh, a smoothie. What kind? They say, green smoothie. Interesting. Do you drink that every day? Yeah. Wow, that's really disciplined. Why is health so important to you right now?
Whoa. Okay, suddenly we went from blended fruit to life philosophy.
Exactly. You took a boring topic and you just drilled down until you found something interesting. And notice what happened there. The focus shifted completely off you and onto them.
Which is the cure for anxiety. If I'm asking you questions, I don't have to be interesting. You have to be interesting. I can just listen.
Precisely. It's a huge relief. And you avoid being a zero questioner. We all know those people who will answer questions, but they never, ever ask them back.
Oh, it's so painful.
Don't be that person. It makes you seem uninterested and, frankly, a bit arrogant.
So ask follow-up questions. Be curious. Be a detective of the other person. Okay, LL is for levity.
Levity just means lightness. It doesn't mean you have to be a stand-up comedian. You don't need a tight 5-minute set of jokes.
Yeah.
It just means bringing a little sparkle, a little smile, not taking yourself so seriously.
This is where self-deprecation comes in, right?
Yeah.
Which is very culturally significant in English-speaking countries, especially like the UK.
It is, very much so. If you make a mistake, let's say you use the wrong word or you stumble over your words, you have two choices. You can freeze up, look terrified, and apologize profusely.
Which makes everyone else uncomfortable.
Exactly. Or you can just laugh.
Say, whoops, I definitely need more coffee.
Exactly that. Wow, my brain is on vacation today. Or just, English is hard, guys.
Yeah.
If you laugh at your mistake, you signal confidence. You are saying, I am secure enough to be imperfect.
Yeah.
And that is incredibly charismatic. People love that.
It instantly breaks the tension. It puts everyone at ease and says, we're just hanging out, it's not an exam.
Okay.
The final letter, K. K is for kindness.
But specifically, kindness and listening. Listening is an active sport. It's not just waiting for your turn to speak.
And there's a specific technique here called looping or grounding.
Yes, this is a power move for clarity and connection. Looping is when you repeat back the essence of what someone just said before you add your own thought.
Okay, so like
saying, so what I'm hearing is that you're frustrated with the new software.
Oh, I use this at work sometimes. So just to clarify, the deadline is Friday at 3 p.m.
It does two amazing things. One, it proves you were actually listening. Nothing builds trust faster than feeling heard.
Okay.
And two, and this is the secret for learners, it gives you a second to process the English and formulate your next thought. It buys you time.
It's a stall tactic that makes you look like a genius listener. I love it.
It really is. So topics, asking, levity, kindness, that is your talk framework. If you use that, you can navigate almost any social situation.
Amazing. Now, I want to address the elephant in the room. The fear. The paralyzing fear of making a mistake. Because we can have all these frameworks, but if we are terrified of sounding stupid, we just freeze.
This is the biggest barrier of all, and we need to completely reframe what a mistake even is.
Our source material called them footprints of progress. I love that.
It's a beautiful image, isn't it? If you aren't making mistakes, you aren't pushing the boundaries of your ability, you're staying in your safe zone.
Right.
Mistakes are proof that you are trying. They're data points for learning.
There's this great distinction between performing and communicating. Can we unpack that?
Yeah.
Because I think this mindset shift is everything.
This is absolutely crucial. Many learners think speaking English is a performance, like being on a stage, singing a perfect aria. The goal is to be perfect, to get a 10 out of 10 score.
Yeah.
And that mindset creates massive anxiety because every single mistake is a fail.
Right. You judge yourself on every single preposition. Oh no, I said in instead of on. The world is ending.
Exactly. But if you shift your mindset to communicating, the goal changes completely. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is connection.
Do they understand me?
Did the other person understand you? Did you share an idea? Did you get the coffee you ordered? If yes, then you succeeded.
There was that great story about the traveler with the broken English.
Yes! He had terrible grammar. I mean, really short sentences, verb tenses were all over the place. But he used gestures, he used emotion, he laughed, he made eye contact.
No.
And everyone understood him. Everyone loved talking to him. Now compare that to the student who has perfect grammar but is too scared to open their mouth. Who is the better English speaker?
The one who is actually speaking.
Yeah.
The one connecting with people.
Exactly. Communication is about the other person understanding you, not you impressing the other person with your flawless grammar usage.
But let's get practical. What do you do when you crash? You're in the middle of a sentence and your mind goes blank. The blue screen of death for your brain. It's the worst feeling.
It happens to everyone, even native speakers, all the time. You need recovery tactics. Set phrases that you have memorized specifically for emergencies.
So you're not searching for them when you're already panicking.
Exactly. You need them ready to go.
Give us some examples. What should we have in our holster?
I just need a moment to think. That's a powerful one. It buys you 5 seconds and it shows you're in control.
I like that. It's so honest and confident.
Another one. I lost my train of thought. Let me backtrack. Or what I meant to say was, or even simply asking, how do you say?
And asking for clarification is another one. A lot of learners think saying, sorry, I didn't understand, makes them look weak or stupid.
But confident speakers do it constantly. Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you repeat it? Or could you speak a little slower? It shows you're engaged and you care enough to get it right.
It's taking control of the conversation.
It is. You're taking control rather than just letting the conversation run you over.
Okay, so we have the mindset, we have the framework, we have the emergency brakes.
Yeah.
Now, how do we actually get good? The grind, the discipline part.
Consistency. It's the unsexy truth, isn't it? Everyone wants a magic pill, but the pill is just consistency.
The 10-minute rule.
Yes. We often see this pattern of binge learning. Someone feels super motivated on a Sunday, so they study for 5 hours straight, they burn out, and then they don't look at English for 2 weeks.
Guilty as charged. I do this with diets too.
We all do. But it's so ineffective. The brain learns through frequency, not just intensity. It's all about spacing. 10 minutes every single day is infinitely better than 5 hours once a week.
Because it builds the habit loop.
Yes, it keeps the English operating system running in the background of your mind. If you skip days, the brain starts to archive that information as not important. It files it away in the dusty basement of your memory.
You want English on the desktop.
You want it on the desktop, ready to open at a click.
But what about the boring phase, the plateau?
Yeah.
Because everyone starts excited, but 3 weeks in, it feels like work.
That is where the winners are made. The plateau is where all the consolidation happens in your brain. It feels like nothing is happening, but your brain is wiring things together.
So what's the strategy?
The strategy here is don't break the chain. Even if you are exhausted, just do one tiny thing. Listen to one song in English. Write one sentence in your journal. Read one paragraph.
Just keep the pilot light on.
Yeah.
Don't let the fire go out completely.
Exactly. And speaking of journaling, that is a specific recommendation from our sources for building fluency.
Journaling feels like writing practice, though, not speaking practice. How does writing Dear Diary help me speak in a business meeting?
Because it's actually thinking slow practice. When you speak, you have this immense time pressure. You have milliseconds to form a thought.
Right.
When you journal, you can practice forming those sentences at your own pace. You're training the neural pathways to construct English thoughts. You're building the road so that later the car can drive on it fast.
So journaling is like slow motion speaking.
It's a perfect analogy. It is rehearsal for your thoughts.
I want to touch on one last area before we wrap up. Social dynamics and status. Because sometimes you're in a group, maybe a group chat at work or a business meeting, and it's fast. People are interrupting each other. It feels like a battlefield.
Group conversations are the boss level of language learning. It's pure chaos.
So how do we navigate that?
One really interesting tip from the Harvard research is using eye gaze and body language to direct the traffic.
What do you mean?
If someone is dominating the conversation, the bulldozer, and you just can't get a word in, you can physically turn your body towards someone else, someone quieter, and ask them a question directly.
So like, what do you think, Sarah, while looking at her?
Right. You are using your body and your words to shift the power dynamics. It's subtle, but it's really effective. You become the conductor of the conversation, even if you're not the loudest one.
And what if you feel low status? What if you feel like the least fluent person in the room? You're the only non-native speaker.
This is so counterintuitive, but ask the dumb question.
Really? Stick your neck out and look dumb.
Yes. If everyone is nodding along, but half of them are just as confused as you are because corporate jargon is confusing for everyone, be the one to say it.
Say what?
Say, can you explain the context of that? Or can we back up a second? I want to make sure I understand this correctly.
That takes guts.
It does, but it actually raises your status because it shows you are secure enough to admit you don't know something. You stop trying to hide. And usually 3 other people in the room will sigh in relief because they didn't understand either.
You become the brave one.
You become the brave one, not the dumb one.
I love that. Vulnerability is a power move.
Always. Real confidence is being comfortable with what you don't know.
We have covered so much ground today. This really was a deep dive. Let's try to recap this journey before we let our listeners go.
Sure. We started with the mindset, right? Resourcefulness over resources. You don't need money, you need curiosity. And the introvert advantage preparation is your key.
Then we move to rewiring the brain. Stop translating. Narrate your life. I'm chopping onions. Use images, not dictionaries. And associate English with calm, not stress.
We talked about the mechanics, clarity over speed, the power of the pause to breathe and control the room, and chunking your thoughts.
We broke down the talk framework. Topics, prep them. Always ask follow-up questions. Levity, laugh at your mistakes. And kindness, looping back what you heard.
And we reframed mistakes as footprints of progress. We talked about consistency, that 10-minute rule, and finally, navigating social status by being brave enough to ask questions.
It's a complete toolkit. But, just listening to this is only the first step.
Right. Passive listening is easy. Active application is where the growth is. Information without action is just entertainment.
So here is our final call to action for you listening right now. We don't want you to do all of this at once. That's just overwhelming.
Pick one thing, just one. Maybe today, when you make coffee, you narrate it, I am pouring the water. Or maybe before your next meeting, you actually write down 3 topics.
Or maybe you just look in the mirror for 30 seconds and introduce yourself. See how it feels.
Whatever it is, do it today. Action creates confidence, not the other way around. You don't wait for confidence to act, you act to build confidence.
And remember, you are not competing with native speakers. You are not competing with the person on TV.
You are only competing with who you were yesterday, and connection is always, always more important than perfection.
I love that. Connection perfection. Thanks for tuning in to Meiji English Podcast. If you found this helpful, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with anyone learning English. See you in the next episode.